Well, there is something special about going, gone. Gobble, gobble. It is turkey time. I cannot believe we're almost at the end of November and approaching the fast approach to what? The end of 2023. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you guys, this is Talk on Tuesdays, and we're happy that you are joining us on tonight. I'm Val the Voice Johnson. Man, oh man, it is time to get it rolling, get it rolling, get it rolling. Hey, let somebody know you checking us out as we get ready to preview Maxine's Baby and a whole lot of music and sports. Let's go. Woo woo. On Tuesdays. We are back. Oh my gosh, having a good old time and grateful that you all are joining us on tonight. Oh my goodness, it's myself and Coach Tony. He's going to be coming in a little bit, my goodness, but this is Talk on Tuesdays. We are sponsored by today a Legal Shield. Text the word LEGAL legal to 347-652-0243 if you need help with a will, trust, or if you're trying to protect an asset like a business. I'm telling you, man, I have done all that it takes to protect my business, and I am with Legal Shield. I'm going to go ahead and have Mr. Springer put it in the chat. Do me a wonderful favor. Give us a shout. Let us know where you are watching in from. This is Talk on Tuesdays. My goodness. And of course, join us on Patreon. I say find your voice there on Patreon. We are there. Join our community. And if you want to learn how to do what this is, a podcast visually or other stuff, and you want to kind of see some behind the scenes that happens with me, Val the Voice, and Coach Tony, go ahead and subscribe and join our Patreon community today. OMG. I'm trying to figure out who is in the audience, who's in the building. I see Mr. Springer is always here, representing Brooklyn very, very well. Thank you so very much. I see who is in the building. It is Michael Drew. What's up? And he's here with his wife, Roberta from Arizona. So good to see you. Lakeisha saying hello to Mark, and Mark is saying it's 2 days till Turkey Day. That's what I'm talking about. All right. What just happened? Sports. Great to see you. Oh my goodness. And Queen Lakeisha, thank you so much for the love and the love to myself and Coach Tony. My goodness. Now, this is going to be a question that I ask a lot of folks. I'm going to have Mr. Springer ask in the chat. If you are a fan of Tyler Perry and if you have seen any of his films or TV shows, give me a shout in the chat and say, yeah. I've seen it, and you got a favorite. Do you have a favorite? OMG, I'm just wondering if any of you all have a favorite film or a favorite TV show. This gentleman has been producing entertainment for our eyes since 1998. Yes, 1998. That's how long it goes back. Well, here's the thing. Over the weekend, Amazon Prime premiered a documentary, a 2-hour documentary on Tyler Perry. No, Tyler Perry did not. He did not produce this or direct this. He is the subject, and it's called Maxine's Baby. His mom is named Maxine Perry. And so this is an intimate look in a little bit into the television mogul's life. And so as you see him here, all smiles, kind of the multi-million or billion-dollar owner who has kind of revitalized Atlanta, as we like to call the new Black Hollywood. That is what's been happening with Tyler Perry. Oh my goodness. Michael Drew says, of course, you're going to go back to the beginning. I love that. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Now, let me clarify. Do you like the play better or do you like the movie? You gotta be clear about it. I personally like the movie better. And that's kind of what I feel regarding that. Here he is with Oprah Winfrey, who turns out to be one of his strongest and biggest supporters. There was an episode of Oprah Winfrey. He came on years ago, I remember, and it was a audience of men talking about how they had been hurt, molested, or something, or some type of abuse. And to know what Tyler Perry's, well, not, well, you'll find out when you watch the documentary what his father took him through. It is horrific. And so I think a lot of us, when we go through any type of trauma, the way to deal or the way to heal is through laughter. And I was trying to figure out why there was always a laughing element in Tyler Perry's films. I've taken my mom to see several of Tyler Perry's films, and I'm telling you, it has been phenomenal, phenomenal. If you got a chance to watch the documentary over the weekend, because it just got released on the 17th, it's been doing kind of the, I want to call it the film festival track. It kind of went around, it was at the American Film Institute. And it did last week. It was at the Black Harford Film Festival here in Chicago. But let me know what you think. Now, here that you see pictured is two people that directed this documentary, which, you know, they had the camera there trying to hide, but they got a little in his face, but not too much. Let me see if I get her name right. Galika Bell Kelly. And she is 37 and from Ethiopia, and she has a child with Tyler. I have never seen a film so protective of the identity of his son. I saw his backside, I saw the side, I saw everything but the face. And I said, okay, so she has followed directions very, very well. He probably said, do not show my son. Do not show my son. However you shoot, if you want to have him in here with me, I don't want to, do not show him. And then also that was one of the directors here. Let me see what this gentleman's name is. I'm going to say, oh, Amarty Ortiz. And so the two of them kind of really got into it. One thing that I was happy to see was the criticism of Tyler Perry. And I definitely have done that myself because I've been such a cheerleader of Tyler Perry. And I'm talking like way back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Shelly Garrett's Beauty Shop. Now, I kind of feel like he did the blueprint of the chicken circuit doing plays for our audience, African American audiences. But Tyler Perry did a couple of his plays at first, and it didn't do well. So he packed up. He went to Atlanta. Everyone that's been a fan of him kind of knows his story. And then Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Madeira's Family Reunion. It went on and on and on. And then before you realize it, I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys knew this. He decided he wanted to do television. And the way that you do television is you've got to kind of sell it to a studio. And what he ended up doing was like, I'm going to pay for it myself. And you guys remember House of Pain. And that went to TBS and it ended up being the #1 show on TBS. I remember watching it thinking, oh my gosh, I remember Alan Payne from New Jack City. And of course, Cassie Davis, Javon Davis. I was just happy to see us on television, unapologetically Black. But what I definitely noticed with him, and I'll ask you guys, who or what? Now I see Michael told us Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And he also says he didn't get a chance to see the play, but he did. So he just saw the movie. I get that. And then of course, who is this? I see Acting Up Media. Cashville in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Good to see you. And then William K. Thank you so much for being here. I see Tony's folks are all up and through here. I appreciate y'all being here. But if there's that film you could think of, or the television show, like there's a television show named Bruh. There's Sisters. And then of course the shows that came on OWN. And hi, Kimberly. Good to see you. Great to see you as well. Give us a shout in the chat. If you're here, let us know. Let us know. Oh my goodness. But all I'm saying is that I've just been a fan, and I'm appreciative of what he's done. But of course, he's been criticized for being Madea. You guys see him in drag. But I don't know if you guys know the story. An actor did not show up to portray this role. But in the very beginning of this documentary, you quickly see who the Madea character is based on. It's based on a real life person in Tyler's life. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to encourage you to go ahead and watch it. There is his I like to call it his baby's mama and director. So Galika, that's her name, and Armani Ortiz. So they were the directors for this documentary. What I am going to say about this, Rotten Tomatoes, they're very critical about documentaries and films. They gave it an 86%, which is great. And one of my favorite reviewers, Carla Renata, the curvy film critic, she says, audiences will be inspired, enlightened, and educated about a man we all thought we knew, but is simply Maxine's baby boy. Bielke and Bikeli and Ortiz do not shy away from personal moments, making its subject seem less of a superstar hero and just simply human. I will agree with that. Because I know a little bit about him, what I like to say, I would recommend this, especially if you've watched any films by Tyler Perry, even if you've been critical. I don't know if you all saw the Netflix series called Black AF with Kenya Barris. There is a brilliant scene in one of the episodes when Kenya Barris sits down with Tyler, and Tyler tells him, I don't care about critics. I don't care what they say. I'm going to do this film. I'm going to do this show. And you got to get that way to not care. And here's the thing. Tyler did something early on with building in his audience. And one thing that I noticed is he had a website and had people sign up to join his mailing list when he did the plays. So by the time Lionsgate approached him, or he was there, and he did the first film, which was Diary of a Mad Black Woman, which was based on a play that was done a couple of years earlier. That film went to #1, and he only made that film for $5 million. And I think it grossed $30 million on #1 box office. So like I said, this is a documentary. If you're a fan of Tyler Perry, I would definitely check this out. It's very personal. The scenes, because they did shoot him when his mother was alive. His mother unfortunately passed away in 2009. I related to this film definitely because of that relationship between a son and a mom. There's some very tender moments, and the way it ends, man, oh man, I saw someone comment earlier and said I was boohooing when this movie ended. So Maxine's Baby, currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Please give it a check out. Let us know what you think. I'm going to look in the chat and see if anybody said anything about it. But like I said, man, oh man, this is going to be a good film, and I'm excited to check it out. Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to get into some music. I got a chance over the weekend this coming weekend is the Soul Train Awards on BET. It's actually going to air this coming Sunday, but they actually just taped it on the 19th in Los Angeles. So there's some folks. Keke Palmer is going to be hosting it, and so you guys will get a chance to see it. But it was recorded because they air it on Thanksgiving weekend. There's Tisha Campbell. She's been hosting it before. And so that was her on the red carpet. But I'm excited to see the performances and see who's going to be there on with Soul Train. And my goodness, so there is Coco Jones in the dead center. Oh my goodness, it's Janelle Monáe. I'm so grateful that everything is covered because she's been very excitedly being out. But I'm not gonna turn into a mama right now. But the Soul Train Awards this weekend on the 26th is going to be on BET. They didn't give too much out. I was looking at the news going, okay, who won? They're like holding all that information because they're like, we gonna air it later. So, but speaking of music, I got a chance to see Stephanie Mills live at the Erie Crown Theater here in Chicago. And then who performed with her? She was the headliner. Who opened? It was Evelyn Champagne King. After 7, they had a full live band. And then, of course, Howard Hewitt. Now, OMG, I have to let you all know I had a good time. I hadn't been to the Erie Crown Theater since seeing a Tyler Perry play. I took my mom to see a Tyler Perry play back in like 2009, 2010. And so it was good to be there. I went with a couple of friends. Stephanie Mills did a phenomenal job. You see her there in this brilliant, bright red dress. 66 years young, just still got it. Evelyn Champagne King kept dropping it like it's hot. You see here, this is after 7. Kavon Edmonds, who is the brother to Babyface. They did a great job as well. But unfortunately, who did not do that well? El DeBarge. I'll talk more about all of that on the audio podcast on tomorrow because, oh my goodness. I see What Just Happened Sports says, love Stephanie Mills. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful. Great concert, great headliner, but I'm just telling you. But the great thing I noticed is that everyone that performed, just about everyone that performed, were in their 60s. Howard Hewitt, 68. El DeBarge, 62. Stephanie Mills, I just said, 66. So what do you do when you have a catalog of music like that and you're going to perform it? I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to bring on Coach here. My goodness, Coach, I have to say this.
What's good, pal? Hey,
what is good?
Hey, first of all, I'm a little upset, though. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you upset?
Because Joe Biden and his wife should have invited me and you to the White House because they had some turkeys on the table. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to be going to do no shopping. You know, they could have said, look, Val, you and Coach Tony come on to the White House. We got a leg or two for you. Obama, he had a cookout in the backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Biden just turned 81.
Hey, he older than they said the other day on Stephen Colbert. He's older than Betty Crocker in the cake mix. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. It's Coach Tony. He is here with us.
It's turn up time right now. You know, you were talking about a couple of things. And my favorite Madea movie, because I wasn't a Madea fan, you know, and I had to grow on Madea, you know, with the plays and all that. But come on. Nothing outdoes Madea goes to jail. She was wilding out on that
one. So quick question. What is your favorite either film or television show by Tyler Perry?
Yeah, I got a couple of them, but like I said, I love Madea go to jail because, you know, you had Judge Mabeline in there, Judge Mathis in there.
Oh,
you had Tatiana in there. You had a couple of young upcoming stars. My girl that was at the fast food restaurant when she snatched her through the window almost. So, you know, you had several up-and-coming stars, and that was a great layout, great movie. And I thought Tyler put that movie together. Then, of course, he goes and does some serious stuff. What I really liked about his movies, though, Val, more than anything, is that they used the same house in Atlanta to come back to. I thought that was really nice.
Right. And here's the thing with Tyler. He wasn't supposed to be Madea. he started doing Madeira because an actor did not show up in one of the first play productions that he did. It was supposed to be another actor, not him. And so he was heavily criticized for, I'm assuming, the cross dressing. But when you watch this documentary and find out exactly who Madeira is based on and why, then you go, oh, it's like, how do you turn, I want to call it childhood trauma into written, dramatic, and comedy all at the same time? It's interesting. I don't know.
Well, first of all, if you want to go back to the cross-dressing comic that really put it out there, who was completely off the hook, in my personal opinion, you got to go back to Flip Wilson.
I remember Geraldine. Yes,
Geraldine.
yes.
So you gotta go back in time. Then to bring before Tyler, you got to get Eddie Murphy. What Eddie Murphy did as well. Nutty Professor. Come on.
Nutty Professor, but Nutty Professor. Wait. Nutty Professor was after Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's been cross-dressing since the late 90s. Nutty Professor came out. Oh wait, the Nutty Professor did come out. And when did it come out?
I'm about to get you on that. Eddie Murphy been out way before Tyler Perry. I'm about to get you on that.
Well, wait a minute, but I'm thinking about it. I think the Nutty Professor, the first one that came out was in the mid to late 90s, and he started doing that.
Early 90s, yeah. But
early 90s. I don't really remember him doing that. But and then I remember, who was this? This was Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence, exactly right.
He did it with his mom.
Hey, because you ain't gonna mess with my mama biscuits. Don't mess with my mama biscuits. I'm telling you right now.
And Michael Drew, it brings me. He's like, bingo, Coach Tony, bingo.
Telling you, and this, we and when you're looking at that, I love what Tyler's done, because Tyler's exploded on that, and now he's brought it to the forefront. He's got Oprah, he's got book deals, he's continuing to do things of that nature. Now, having said that, I wish, and I only wish, that the other huge, like, my boy, me and Wamo used to talk about Big Mama's House, because Big Mama's House was off the chain, right? When they did that in the cross dress with Martin Lawrence and all that, and they did a phenomenal job with him and me along. So, you had multiple people, but it's been great because you've had an opportunity to see Tyler kind of grow in that role. But once again, no matter if it was the one with Angela Bassett, no matter if it was the one where
Meet the Browns,
the family came together, they always came back to Atlanta, to Medea's house, and I love that, because they had a safe home. Even when she go to jail, when she was out on the street and she was cracked out, they came back to the house because they knew where they can get to the house. Even what's the episode, the one that he had to hide the white people at the house from getting killed?
Yeah, I don't remember that particular one, because Tyler. So let me jump in here really quick. So the studios, you find out in the documentary, and I knew about it, but it was clarified. He had been trying to find a studio place for a minute, but then he ended up buying an old Confederate Army grounds. And I mean, and I think the grand opening of it was in 2019, and then he named 10 sound stages after many people, and after one of his heaviest critics, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's very big of him. I don't know if I would have done that. However, for the culture, if you think about a filmmaker in the mid to late 80s that produced films that celebrated us, that was Spike. He was on a streak, and I'm thinking that I know inspired Tyler, because Tyler at that time was still, I guess, trying to figure out what he was going to do. He didn't come to knowledge to anyone until about the early 2000s. But we in the Chitlin circuit, or the folks that knew his plays, we knew about him in the late 90s, because, like I said, I took my mom to see a play. Have you ever seen a Tyler Perry play? That's the better question, not the movies, but have you seen a
I've
play?
seen it only when they aired it on TV. I've never wanted to see a Tyler Perry play live. I would love to see it, but I've not seen one live. But I did see when they ran the ones that were on BET early on. They were really nice.
Yeah. And so, but here's the thing. He has single-handedly revitalized the industry in Atlanta. The former Atlanta mayor was on the documentary and he spoke very eloquently. He says when he started and was the mayor in 2010, they were probably doing maybe 200 million of business. Now it's like a weird number, like 7.1, 7.2 billion. The industry has grown that much. Black Panther was a film that was shot in the studios for Tyler Perry. You could just name the list of all this. And here's the thing, because he was told no by a lot of the studio execs outside in Hollywood and beyond, he had to do his own thing. Whoopi Goldberg, one of the sound sages that's named after her, and you saw her get emotional and says, Tyler gets it. Some people don't, you go to Hollywood, some people don't get why you do certain things or, how roles that you take. But, making films that's for us, by us, even if the FUBU effect, even if the topic is done to death, because that's been my complaint with Tyler, is that I want him to heal and move on. Like, give me other stories.
Yeah, but do you feel that, because my nephew asked for him. We've had him on here. He was in Black Panther.
Right.
And by the way, Demetrius is doing, shout out to him. He's doing very well, and he's about to be on another show that Tyler's putting him in. He was there at the beginning of the launch of that Breaking Ground, when he brought everything basically from California to Atlanta. And I've had the opportunity to drive by too. But what do you think about Tyler Perry in terms of him and the Millennials? Do you think that they jive together, or do you think that, does he give the Millennium the opportunity to break new grounds in his movies? Or do you think that the movies are really still around what he wants to do and he just kind of puts them with it?
When I look at it, like I looked at Sisters, that's one of the shows that's on BET right now. And I probably got through maybe half of one of the episodes. And then there's another show called The Oval.
Yeah.
Younger actors, and it's just a different version of maybe the 5 or 6 first films that came out of Tyler Perry, just in a different vein. There's someone that's an abuser, that's someone that's a drunkard. There's some, the same, I want to call it the same characters that existed in the plays and that existed in the films. And I'm assuming that you always need some type of conflict, but it's interesting. But the great thing is that the Millennials are playing it and then putting it in their voice. It's still Tyler, but then they're kind of saying, well, let's put it in our voice. Like, and there's another show called Bruh. And that's kind of like a brother's version of like Girlfriends or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
And then one person said that they love the Opal. Who is that? That's April. She says she loves the Oval. And that's, to me, remember Kerry Washington's movie, TV show. What was that called? Scandal. So I feel like Scandal, you had Chandra Rhimes do Scandal, and still Grey's Anatomy is on, but just it was a fight for Blacks, number one, in directing and producing, and then of course in acting. To have Kerry Washington be a lead actress on a network, the major network for Scandal, of course, Tyler's like, you know what, I'll create my own version of Scandal. It's going to be called The Oval.
Right.
But a lot of those themes very similar to the early Tyler Perry plays and movies. So I've seen it all. But it's new. It's new for the Millennials, though. It's new for them.
Exactly. And now we're gonna turn on a dime. We're gonna make a hard turn on the sports. But before I make that, I got one comment I gotta say. Don't ask me about this freaking Andre 3000 album, because to me, it's just for promotional purposes only. It was trash. I want to hear some of that. Me and you, your mama and your cousin too, rolling
Okay,
down strip on Vogue. I
you,
want to hear
you,
that. I want to hear
you,
that Southern
okay,
playalistic
okay,
Andre 3000. Spit it.
okay.
Don't give me this. I'm
Okay.
like he's
So
kicking.
I'm going to jump in on that because you're absolutely hilarious with that. Now we're going to talk about Andre 3000's new music. It's about an hour and 27 minutes.
Yes.
I saw a very well-informed interview that he did with GQ magazine.
Okay.
They got a chance to catch up with him. He was doing his laundry, Tony. He was doing his laundry. I
That's
was
what it
thinking
sounds
that. So, Acting Up Media says that it sounded like straight up meditation music.
Yeah, there you go, Leo. Tell him. And by the way, Val, my boy Leo, Acting Up Media, make sure you stay focused and tuned to my man. He from Cashville, Tennessee. I got my boy Joski out here playing golf with me, a couple of my partners, Mike Drew, and definitely Melissa down in Georgia. I appreciate you guys. Whatever you do, you listening to Interludes Talk on Tuesday with my girl, Val the Voice, and of course your boy, Coach Tony. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, because we're going to continue to hit you upside the head. Now, that's the Andre 3000 right there, Val, I'm trying to get at. I ain't trying to get at that meditation. And, it sounded like he was pouring water over rocks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, so this is what I'm understanding. Andre is I didn't know he was an only child. I didn't know that he's 48. So he says that right now, and he has not produced any music since Idlewild. Him and Dre, they won Grammy Award winning.
Him and Big Boy.
Him and Big Boy. One of the films that I thought I liked the soundtrack as well. This was Idlewild. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Idlewild was tight.
Beautiful. Paula Patton was in this film. Yeah. And I thought he was an excellent actor as well. So I was thinking he was going to go in the direction like many hip hop artists.
Man,
they're going to go ahead and do some
acting. It's kind of like when you get hit by the Kardashians, right? He got hit.
Yeah. So this is what April says. She says, I think someone kidnapped Andre and someone else produced it.
Erica Badu did that to that boy. I'm telling you right now. Erica Badu did that to that boy, and tell you. But I tell you what, Val, here's what's hot on the plate. I got all my sports guys out there. I don't want y'all to be quiet now. I need to hear from you. I need to really hear from you, because tonight we're going to turn the volume way past 10. That's what my boy said as he spit it. Before we get into the meaty grind subject, Val, did you hear the news that came out late this afternoon about my guy Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders' son?
No, I did not. So please let us know what's going on.
Coach Tony come hot off the press. It's like, some flapjacks and some pancakes. You know what I'm saying? But Shador Sanders this afternoon signed a multi-deal NIL deal with none other than Smoothie Kings out of Dallas corporate office. He has a smoothie drink, Val, that was just released for the holidays today called the Shador Smoothie. Now, it has angel food with blueberries and nuts topped off with multivitamins, and then you can splash it with whatever topping you want. So you can go to any Smoothie King in America starting tomorrow, and they will have that drink for you. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, since we did a full commercial for Smoothie King, hey, we're looking for sponsorship. I mean, you're going to do something like that, Coach. We might as well just go ahead and put it out there. We're looking for sponsorship. Smoothie King, get at us.
Hey, I'm repping you, Smoothie King. Somebody better be calling my phone tomorrow. Hit me on Twitter, telling me to holler at them.
Oh my gosh.
And the question on the table, as we always talk about, and Val, you've been with me and all my athletes, we put things out there, and I'm always constantly educating the moms, the dads, coaches that's got kids playing in college sports and high schools at some states. Is this NIL, which stands for name, image, likeness. Is the great situations like Shador has been doing. But that young lady that you got pictured right now, the question of the night that I've got to have Springer put on there is, has the NIL, with the money that these athletes are getting, has it helped or has it hurt the college athletes? Let me give you an example. We know, unfortunately, Val, that many of our young athletes are from the minority descent. And they come from, a lot of these athletes, the good story is not that Val was married with a beautiful household and her kid had a beautiful schooling and he goes on to a D1 program. The story is Coach Tony's son came up in the hood, single parent, probably lived by himself, fend for himself, and now all of a sudden he's a mega superstar. And ESPN wrapped themselves around that type of story. So Angel Reese, if you don't know, started playing her basketball career at a home state out of Maryland, played at University of Maryland, transfers to LSU, and last year her and the phenom Caitlin Clark at Iowa, they battled it out in the NCAA tournament. Woo! She then goes on to sign a multi-level marketing deal and became the highest paid female athlete to get an NIL endorsement. Okay, that's fine and dandy. Now, over the summer, nothing was said. Angel was Angel. Now, 7 days ago, Val, she plays a game, and all of a sudden, Coach Kim Mulkey sets her down, right? And it was against Kent State. She played one half. Second half, she didn't come out. Kim was in her place like that. And it was because of disciplinary rules, as Coach Kim said, based on Angel, not listening and not being respectful as an athlete. So all of a sudden, she was then suspended off of the team with a time frame of coming back. And Coach has done a great job of protecting her players, staying away from the media and all of that. Speculations in the news have said it's because her academics fell below the requirements of the University of LSU. That's why she was kicked off, because Mulkey didn't say that. So here's what makes me mad, Val. You got Flage, which is a girl point guard, good friend of hers. All of a sudden, Angel puts out a tweet and an Instagram, and you know how these kids are, Val. You say something real quick, because I've done it. And I'm sure you've probably done it like many others. And they posted, and all of a sudden a few words have been misspelled, a few things, T's are not crossed, I's not dotted. And all of a sudden, her best friend's mom gets on and makes a comment about, the grammar. And then Angel Reese's mama claps back. And now all of a sudden you got two beautiful Black women going at it on a national social media feed that blew up at the same time. So that's why I asked, has this money ruined our college athletes, or is it actually helping?
So I will go ahead and attempt to answer that question. And this is, anytime money comes into the play of things, and depending on where it lands, if people are not, I want to call it even-minded about it, or level-headed about it, it can mess things up. It can honestly mess things up. When you sent me that story to myself and to Mr. Springer, I'm sitting here reading through the comments and going, this is too much information being shared publicly on Twitter. Like these are conversations that you have one-on-one. You don't do this in the public. I'm so sorry. And I agree with Michael. He says this is definitely a distraction. I don't understand it. And of course, April's thinking, my goodness, what's going on? So no, why can't we focus in on the sport of it all? And I think money, when it comes into play like that, and if people are not even killed, it's going to distort things. It really
Yep.
is.
And me and Mike went around and around and around. Great discussion, by the way. He kind of gave me some thoughts and ideas even tonight on the podcast. In our community at these universities, right? Like most of the PWIs have. So when you're thinking about that, I think about a person like Melissa, my girl, Melissa Anthony down in Atlanta, and what you're talking about sports. She does a heck of a great job of educating women, Val, who knows nothing about sports, but they're single mothers, right? And their kids are playing sports. And so what Melissa's done is she talks about football on a weekly basis or basketball so that these moms who are going to the football field or to the basketball courts understand what a pick and roll is or a tackle or a timeout. And I think what happens is we don't get the financial literacy education. So it's like the young boy in the hood, Val, right, on 63rd Street, right? he listens to Lil Durk, right? He listens to Lil Durk and the homeboys over here spitting his lyrics and all that. That's great. But then all of a sudden, his mind only sees somebody riding down Stony Island in a beautiful car, and he's a dope man, and he don't know how to calculate $100 from $1,000 from 10,000 to 100 grand to $1 million. Because to him in the hood, it's just an extra zero. So when we get an opportunity to get out, sometimes, like what I thought should happen, like you said a moment ago with Mike, the two mothers should have made that phone call behind the scene. Said, hold on, girl. We ain't putting our business on air.
We ain't putting out there. That's right. And William says they need to stay off social media. And he also stated, no, schools have been making money off kids' backs for years. And then I'm looking to see here on Facebook, as much as Angela Reese, it's nowhere near Olivia Dune's NIL money. Dune, she's blonde, she's white, she makes good gracious, 3.2 million.
Yes.
Reese
is making 1.7. Yes.
We're still behind. Who is that?
Exactly.
That's Mr. Womble. That's Mr. Womble. That's his comment. That's Womble.
Yeah, what's up, Womble, baby? And the thing about that, like Womble saying, Val, is that, and you got to look at somebody like, even though Angel Reese is doing what she's doing, do you know who Caitlin Clark is working out with every day or every week? Do you know who she signed to?
I have no clue. Who?
She signed to Mike Womble's boy, Steph Curry, Golden State Warrior. So you ask yourself, why did Steph come and sign up, this young African-American, Angel Reese, maybe put in some literacy class and teach her about what's going on? Why? Because you don't hear nothing about Caitlin. Yeah, you heard about the little finger point. That's just being a ball player. I've said worse things and did worse things now, not who still do it right now when I play my AAU squad. But, the thing is that, Val, you hit it on the head. When money gets involved, it goes in multiple directions. It can tear up best friends and it can tear up families. So all of a sudden, here's what kills me. How can these two beautiful Black women bring their kids involved, and now it's spread around this world on social media, but the head coach has got a lip set, Kim Mulkey ain't said a word. Yeah. And you remember, this is the same Kim Mulkey that our guy Michael Womble didn't like, the same coach, Val, that didn't support Brittany Griner when she was locked up.
What?
Yes. See, I thought you may not have recognized that thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's see what our folks are saying here in the chat. Oh my goodness. Now, Acting Up Media, of course it's helped them financially, but I think in the long run, players are going to lose that hunger to be great professionals because they're already rich. However, I wish I played in this era. That's what he says. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I would say, man, please, no, man, we turned the city out back in the day, man. You already know. Made so much money.
And then said Caitlin Clark was on the Manning cast last night.
Yes, she's on the Manning cast last night. Again, when you're signed to Steph Curry, and Steph Curry is flying you out to California, working you out once or twice a month, those doors are just gonna automatically open. And like what me and Mike Drew was talking about last night, Angel and Flage, they're on the same squad. And they won a
Wow.
national championship. They were best friends. They sitting here, Flage, she went through some difficult time from the hood in A. And, she spit that rap. And now all of a sudden, what you're going to see, which she's already done, the breakup has happened. And you know what happens with the breakup? One party's always talking crazy about the other one. So now Flage done dropped a rap song about the situation already. So where do you think that's going to go? That's going to
That's
go hard left. That's going to go hard left.
It's not going to land well whatsoever. And here's the thing, for the folks that are the brand managers and folks that have given those NIL deals to these young ladies, when they get out of pocket like that on social media and they're not handling these things behind closed doors, their moms, everybody involved, you know what? We don't want you representing our brand. We're going to take our money back.
Correct. And that's what's happening. And that's what's going to happen. The hard part about it, Val, which really upsets me, is this. The NBA and the WNBA do not care.
Okay.
They separate themselves. So whatever Val did or whatever Angel's going to do in college, even if she doesn't come back the rest of this year, she's going to go to the WNBA as a high draft pick, and they don't care as long as you don't bring it to the WNBA. Here's what really gets me. Mm-hmm. That $1.7 million, probably most of it is gone. Because what these kids don't get is the moment you get that money, you surpass 500 stacks, then you automatically become in that 40 percentile tax bracket. So 40% of that money is gone. Then she had a mom a new house. She bought a car, right? So she may be left with $200,000-$300,000. But see, they don't get that to say, let me put this money up for a rainy day.
Put it in some type of investment of some sort. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What happens if she don't get picked up next year and end up not going to the WNBA and this backfires on her? Now she's like most of the women, like me and you talked earlier in this year on another one of our shows. What do they got to do, Val? They got to go across the pond, play basketball overseas to make the money.
And this is what Drew says. He says this is messing up the money. And then also what just happened sports. Love that the NILs are available for kids, need counseling for the kids and their parents. And then here's this thing. Angel should have gone to South Carolina with a real coach to nurture and protect.
Now I love that, Angel. Yeah. And here's my boy who listened tonight, my homeboy, frat brother, Cap Alpha Psi Phi Nu Pi, my boy, Mr. Derek Reed down in Dallas.
Eric is here. He's giving you a pound.
Hey, what's up, baby? And I recruited Derek's daughter when I was coaching at Fisk University. And that was going to be a powerhouse. And Derek on board right now, Val, listen to the show tonight, played football at Michigan State University. Let's go, Big Ten. And by the way, as I rep my Blackhawks tonight, do it right. But Reed was saying this has been going on for years. As a matter of speaking, it's kind of like the things that the kids got in trouble for yesteryear is now free right now. Like Chris Webber did this, and they took the entire Michigan University's trophy back. And now, if this was happening right now, it'd have been okay.
Wow.
It'd been okay.
Wow.
And since they've been doing it for years and years and years, and the NCAA has been making so much money, what happens is this, Val. I don't know if you know, or a lot of people that's listening tonight, when the NCAA football national championship game is played, do you know the schools that win that money? That national championship game is close to roughly about $1 billion. The winning university wins $500 million of that money. And the other $500 million is split amongst the other schools in the conference. And football do not give the NCAA one Lincoln. So what happens is, not for promotional purposes only, but for promoting betting and gambling, the NCAA March Madness is the most bet-on sport worldwide for those 6 weeks. That's where the NCAA makes their money.
Wow. And telling you, people are being educated. E says, real talk, that NIL money is a drop in the bucket compared to what the universities make. The bag has always been passed along to the students. And he also says, Eric says the NCAA is a huge pimp game.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like if you remember the episode with Martin, the Pimp of the Year show. It's like that. But in Val, and I'll give you one, and we're going to have these. Once again, you watch the Interludes Talk on Tuesday. You're getting knowledge right now from your boy in the sports show with Coach Tony, my girl Val, the voice. Subscribe to this show, like us, and we got more coming. But I'm going to have this young lady on, and you're really going to hear the inner workings of all of this, Val. So I represent with my company right here, Rise NIL. I got another one of my athletes assigned to me at Belmont University. She's a volleyball player. Do you know how many hours a day, Val, that this young lady practices? We're talking about volleyball. We're not even talking about football and basketball. Can you give me just a clue of how many hours you think she practicing with volleyball?
I'm going to say anywhere between 3 to 5 hours a day.
5 hours on the money. Now, let's think about that. 5 hours of volleyball, 4 hours of class and study. That's 9 to 10 hours a day. And this is why the NIL money had to come about, because these kids don't have the opportunity to go work because their scholarship at the university, that's their job.
That's their job. So they have to make sure that they're doing that. And then also what Just Happened Sports says also the WNBA doesn't pay well. And let me go up here.
Exactly, Melissa. Exactly.
And then that WNBA money is nothing. Aaliyah Boston is doing analysis for NBC for women's college basketball, and she's doing a great job too.
Yeah, Val. Who is our girl from Chicago, Val? We talk about who do we love the most? Candace Parker.
Candace. Yay, Candace.
If you haven't watched that, you haven't watched her. She has a documentary about her on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, you better go see it. Right. Not Netflix, but it was on ESPN. I apologize. But what Melissa just said and Angel just said is 100% correct. If you remember, we talked about that earlier this year while Brittany Griner got herself caught up in Russia because these women don't make the money, so they got to go across the pond. Now, the funny part about it is that, Angel Reese, she could have turned pro this year in her junior year, but she didn't. Why? Because the NIL deal, Val, paid her over $1.5 million. So why am I going to go pay for $200,000, $300,000 when I can make 5 times that amount?
And very quickly, Coach, we have Derek Reed, who is asking a question here. He says, if time permits, so let's just go ahead and do that. Explain exactly where the NIL money comes from. You could do that.
Oh, that's a great question. So I'll give you a real life example of me right now. So I've launched Rise here last year, Val, coming up on my year since this will be a year this year since last November. I've grinded it out, made phone calls. I've had people like Mike Drew reach out, out in Phoenix, introduce me to other people. And the young lady I just told you a minute ago, I've got a couple of guys that's in the league. You already had Sam Cipriano, my agent in Chicago, on there with us and all that, who throws guys back to me. Well, I'm working with Lululemon right now, Anatomy, just talked to another company we call iSlide USA. Well, these companies are young companies. I had a meeting this week of all people with some of the clothes you wear, probably, Val, and Hanes brand, Hanes underwear and Playtex bra and all that. And what these companies are is because the brick and mortar are not available anymore, right? And because the smash and grabs are not available no more because of what these dummies are doing. So what these companies are doing now, they're going to the internet. They're going internet shopping. So they need these athletes to push these brands. And so what happens is the brand is got a certain product that they want to sell. I match the athlete with that product. My athlete is Val. Val, she's a swimmer. And I want her to try a brand new Speedo swimsuit. And then I promote that. Now, as a college student, I give Val 2 or 3 swimsuits a month. She goes in the water, she takes a picture of herself in the water, and then she posts it on social media. Then she talks about it with her colleagues or whatever, and then she tries to sell it. depends on what she sells, the company gives her a cut of it. And that's the NIL. Now, what we see, that's the 1%. What we see, the reason why it's not the true NIL is because we see the Deion Sanders promoting his son, the Angel Reese's, and those big athletes. Those are major, major athletes. Even without an NIL deal, Val, those kids are going to the pros, right?
Right. And so it says, I think, yes. So congratulations. We see this from, who is this? April. Congratulations, Coach Tony, for going ahead and breaking that down. And then, of course, this is Michael. Great job explaining the work of an influencer. That's pretty much what the NIL stands for. And Bianca says Angel isn't ready for the pros skill-wise. Ouch.
Oh, okay.
Ouch. Okay.
Maybe not attitude-wise, skill-wise. I think she's good. Hey, but Angel, I'm gonna give you one. If you're not watching, this is not for promotional purpose. This is the real deal. Women's basketball. I'm gonna introduce you to somebody, Val. Juju Watkins. Remember that name? Remember Coach Tony Thompson? Okay. Juju Watkins, University of Southern Cal, is a ball.
All right, that's what we're talking about. And I have to definitely say, we are going to still be doing this. If I can see this, Mr. Springer put it out there for a chance to win $100 gift card. Coach Tony needs the following: give me 2 teams to make the NBA Finals, and it must be correct. You want also the champion, and it must be correct. It'll be for $100 gift card. Even though we've been talking about the women's side of things, definitely.
Yeah, don't forget about our man playing ball. And again, you got to beat me. So I need the East Coast, and let's make sure we get the clarity right. So you guys turn these things into Mr. Springer. I need who you think is going to come out the West Conference. Then I need who you think going to come out the Eastern Conference. And then I need the championship between those two. And it won't be no change and no answers. So I need it. We're going to have a deadline to cut off. And if you got those 2 teams correct and you got the champion correct, then you'll win it. If you got them wrong and I beat you, then, go pound salt.
Oh, my gosh. Well, this has been, I have to say, this has been a lively discussion. Definitely. And thank you so much for breaking down the NIL, what it means, and then definitely us talking about Angel Reese and then Andre 3000. And this has been a whole musical situation that's been happening. And of course, if you want to know a little bit more about exactly what Coach Tony does, please visit his website. Thank you so much, Mr. Springer, for putting this in the chat. It is therisenil.com. And you'll reach out to Coach and find out more about what he is doing for young athletes. Is that a good promo? Yeah. Is that a good promo? I hope that is.
Hey, I'm going to keep you with me. And I got one more promo because my boy from Nashville, Tennessee on here, and my buddies that play golf with me, Joski, just let him know, Val, I had to beat him down this weekend on the golf course and whatnot. It's out a cool little 85 on the golf course this weekend. And, he didn't take too kind of it. So, I'm going to get him an NIL deal, make him happy.
Okay. And then, of course, Derek says, thanks, Coach, for what you do. We got a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll definitely do that. That's coming out from April. And then April also puts this out here. I think she also predicted this before, and that's happy Thanksgiving also from Michael as well. Championship, Milwaukee Bucks on the east side, and Milwaukee Bucks, but then on the west, she's saying Golden State. So
okay, but who you gonna tell? Oh, so she's got the Bucks versus Golden State, and she got the Bucks winning it all. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, that's what she's got. And then of course Bianca, she says, right, the NIL owes me money.
Coach Finn. Hey, that's my coach right there. Coach Finn today. She owes us some money. I like that.
Thank you so very, Mark.
What's up, Mark?
We appreciate that. And then, of course, Eric is giving us all love, family. He's been on the show as well. My goodness. You guys, I want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, I do too. Happy Thanksgiving, and please be blessed, travel safe. Get to your destinations and get back home because we got more of this right here. And by the way, You forgot to tell them, Val, I need you to stay with your ears close to the dial because we got to pull up podcast. And Coach Tony going to spin it off beginning of the year. We're going to keep talking about this, but I got the pull up podcast coming about, and it's going to be, and that means for you people that's got something to say, I'm going to let you pull up on me.
So the song there's a theme song for it. So we're going to be working on getting some things going and rolling for that. We'll probably start promoting that at the very beginning of next month. We want to thank you guys. We have Derek, who also says that he's going to be rooting for Denver versus the Bucks, with the Bucks winning it all. And so, and then of course, thank you. We have another happy Thanksgiving from CM. This is Cheryl Henderson. Thank you so very much. And then Mark says, help my Golden Eagles win. Is that what he says?
Mark, you got to go pound salt. Unfortunately, the Golden Eagles ain't going to win, even though, by the way, Val, before we let you go, and my NCC guys on here, Rob Brown, Rob Brown's son, plays basketball for Shaka Smart in the University of Marquette. So, Mark, as you watching, we got a kid that play ball for Marquette University. So, with much love.
It's Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays. We're wishing you guys a very happy Thanksgiving. And of course, our affiliate sponsor for this episode has been Legal Shield. Text the word legal to 347-652-0243 if you need help with a will, trust, or to protect your business. And please visit our website. This is linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. And of course, I've got to let you guys know about the after show with Val Voice. That's on what do you call it? Clubhouse for right now, but we're looking to go ahead and start streaming on a radio station here in Chicago. More details.
Okay, I see.
Okay, you see it? Coach Tony, it is Val the Voice. We'll see you guys.
I'm gonna pull up over there, Val.
We're gonna need your DJ skills. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.